Dear friends, I cannot claim to be completely well. I'm suffering from allergic cough and cold. But it has been a long time since I have done any video. And today I had an idea that most people who show you books about mathematics, like me, channels like me, they say on various topics and various books on various topics, which are pretty exciting. And I've also learned a lot from those websites or those YouTube videos. But what I am going to tell you today, I have not seen any other channel. See, I am becoming like a YouTuber, I'm competing, right? Uh, it's about dictionaries of mathematics. I have a collection of dictionaries of mathematics. Now, you might be worrying, why would someone collect dictionaries and read dictionaries or look at them at all? What is the need? You can, if you want to know something, you can go to the web and click, and you can Google it and you get it. Google is the greatest dictionary. Okay, I admit. But sometimes it is good to have everything within one book form at one place. Believe it or not, reading dictionaries in mathematics is very exciting. At least it would be to those who have tried it once. I tried it once and was hooked with it. Basically, you take up a dictionary and you look at various terms, and it's various terms where you might encounter terms which you have never heard. For example, think like what is a vulgar fraction, okay, and you have possibly read names of mathematicians you have never heard, and that might interest you in some other direction. So, and this was first, this interest was first showed in me by Professor Jonathan M. Borwein, who is no longer with us, and he's a great mathematician of the second half of the 20th century and the first half of the 21st century, a great experimental mathematician, a number theorist, a functional analyst, a optimizer, and a theoretical computer scientist, all rolled into one. Not an easy thing to be. To be questioned by him was a terrifying thing for when I was a youngster at that time when I had worked with him. So it's a terrifying thing to be talking to him actually, because you would be completely stripped of your knowledge. You would think that your ground is basically going off from your feet, and basically your uh, means your ignorance is getting exposed at a heavy scale, right? But I had learned so much of mathematics from Professor John Borwein, so much that he changed my view of mathematics. I am his only Indian collaborator, which makes me very proud in some sense. Um, you can just go and type JONBORWEIN and you'll see the list of things this great man had achieved. And he also introduced me to this amazing thing called Dictionaries of Mathematics, what he wrote. So, Collins is a very famous publisher who publishes dictionaries. So, here is a dictionary. Wait, this is a dictionary of mathematics, and it is written by, if you read, Borowski and J. M. Borwein, Jonathan M. Borwein. So, this you start with like any dictionary, say English dictionary, you start with A and see the list of mathematical terms in A, not just English terms. For example, what it what is the meaning of base for a topology? Base at a point or local base. For example, what is the meaning of a shorter basis? For example, what is the meaning of Bayesian? So what is the meaning of, what is Bellman's principle of optimality in dynamic programming? So a lot of things are there. You can take anything. So if you just skim through this, you just take up any part and have a look at it, you will end up learning a lot of things, a lot of new terms, and you will see things which you have never heard before. So what told me, he suggested me to have a look at this, and then later on I found his new web linked dictionary also by Borowski and Borwein. by the same Collins publishers, who are very good publishers for dictionaries. And then I started collecting my own dictionaries of mathematics. One of the oldest that I have is that from Penguin. And when I first got the Penguin dictionary in my hand, it was edited by David Nelson, and it's a very old one. It's, I think, reprinted in 2008. It's a very old one. So one of the first thing I did was I went to the section B and section A and B. I wanted to know whether they have, because these dictionaries are also giving you a little snippets on lives of mathematicians. I first went to B and wanted to see if they had spoken about my favorite ancient Indian mathematician Brahmagupta. So yes, here it is, Brahmagupta. Here in this B, I was stunned to find Brahmagupta. And you see, here is Brahmagupta. And I can take it more near to you. So, and Brahmagupta's formula, which is a generalization of Heron's formula for cyclic quadrilateral. So now he says that Brahmagupta was born in 598 AD and died in 665 AD. So he was alive for 67 years. Indian mathematician and astronomer noted for his introduction of negative numbers and zero into arithmetic. He also formulated the rule of 3, gave the formula for the area of the cyclic quadrilateral in terms of its sides, and proposed the rules for solution of quadratic and simultaneous equation. Also, it solves the Pale's equation, which they have not given here. His main work was an account of the verse of Hindu astronomy and mathematics, Brahma Sputa Siddhanta, the revised system of Brahma. So that's something which I enjoyed, that they had actually put Brahmagupta. They also have inputs about Aryabhatta. So this dictionary is beautiful. You can, what is the DDoS problem? Anybody learning about optimization must know about the DDoS problem. Diagonally dominant matrix. What is the meaning of a diagonally dominant matrix? Okay, for example, what is a diagonalizable matrix? A square matrix can be reduced to a diagonal matrix by similarity transformation. That is a square matrix A for which x inverse Ax is diagonal for some non-singular matrix A. Then we call A to be a diagonalizable matrix. So all these things, any topic that you have, there is an entry there, and I really enjoyed this. I enjoy having a look at sometimes. Some of the latest collections were the 4th edition of Oxford Dictionary of Mathematics. This is Oxford Dictionary of Mathematics. Oxford Concise Dictionary of Mathematics, written by Christopher Clapham and James Nicholson. So this is the 4th edition. So this also speaks about, let me again try out. So if Penguin has spoken about Brahmagupta, let me see what these guys are, whether they speak about Brahmagupta or not. Unfortunately, it seems, yeah, they speak of Brahmagupta, and they also tell almost the same things. So, but they don't give the Brahmagupta's formula, which is very unfortunate, but the Penguin Mathematics gives. So, very recently I bought the 5th volume of this, the 5th edition of this. One of the important parts of the 5th edition is that it is web linked. You see this QR here. So if you take your mobile with any QR reader, say of Google Pay, you read this, they will give you a list of websites, and you can go and click and see various things linked to various. So anything where they have given web linked symbol beside their description, for them they have given a compendium website also. So for example, you see here, I'll show you. Do I see something? Anywhere you have a web link, like Borwine had a web linked thing. So Borwine's book, what they didn't have any QR at that time. Borwine book didn't have QR. What they gave was the links. They gave the actual links, and you should be able to go and see this. But nowadays, these guys are giving QRs, and so it's pretty fun. For example, here in these books, Oxford Dictionary of Mathematics, you will find some terms about statistics like chi-square test for hypothesis testing, chi-square distribution, or t-test for hypothesis testing, or many things about probability. But it is largely about mathematical things, like, so anything where there is a symbol of web link, you will see here, like the golden ratio, there is this symbol of web link here. So here you will see the symbol of web link, that black symbol that you see where my finger is. So here is the web link. So here you will get more information. There is a link about the golden ratio. Now, the interesting thing that I am going to show you, which is a bonus for this discussion in this evening, is an Oxford Dictionary of Statistics by Graham Upton and Ian Cook. So it's the Oxford Dictionary of Statistics. So a lot of things about statistics, which there are a lot of things which I haven't heard at all. You will not find in the Dictionary of Mathematics, but you will find it here because it's specialized for statistics. Anybody studying statistics at the undergraduate level or graduate level, and even researchers who use statistics in their work or even teach statistics, I strongly recommend them to have this book and the Oxford Dictionary of Mathematics, because I do not know whether Borwine's one is still available, but I hope so. But I strongly recommend this book of statistics, because I have spent hours looking at this book, and it is really, really fabulous. It even gives you a history of the Indian Statistical Institute, right? And also talks about Indian mathematicians like C.R. Rao, who is famous for the Rao-Blackwell theorem, who is or Kramer-Rao inequality. He speaks about Prashanta Mahalanovich, who is a famous statistician and the founder of the Indian Statistical Institute. So a lot of things would come in here in statistics, the Dictionary of Statistics. For example, Dempster-Shafer theory of evidence. I've never heard about it, but it is here. Dempster, by the way, was the supervisor of John Borwine. So here, this is also web linked. Okay. For example, so no, not this Dempster was not the supervisor. Sorry, there was a different Dempster of UK. These are Dempster of Canada. I think I'm mistaken. So, for example, Augustus De Morgan. So Augustus De Morgan, everybody knows about De Morgan's laws in set theory, that A union B complement is A complement intersection B complement. So I had also not known when I first came and read this dictionary, I took a look at this dictionary. That is the usefulness of just scrolling through dictionaries. Augustus De Morgan, born 1806 and died in 1871. He was born in Madurai, I guess, in India, and he died in London. So it's very, very fascinating that one of the great guys of set theory was born here in our land. And so this has got, for example, McFadden's R-square likelihood ratio. So you just on a normal course in statistics, you might just not even hear it unless you are doing a very, very specialized course. For example, Dickey Fuller test, which is pretty well known for people who do time series. For example, Moholy-Nagy distance, which is an important uh, notion in statistics. For example, have you ever heard of John Charles Gittin's Gini statistic? Many of you might have heard, or Gini coefficient or Gini index, but you have not heard of John Charles Gittin, or you might not even heard of uh, George W. Sneggder, so and so forth. Or have you ever heard of Benjamin Gompertz? Unless you are deeply into statistics, possibly. So, if you are a statistical hobbyist like me, then you will not be. I enjoy statistics essentially as a hobby. You will not even know about it. So, those who have taken a very basic course, for example, not know what is a Gumbel's distribution. Here on my left side is the Gumbel's distribution, the PDFs for various value of a parameter beta on which it depends. It has two parameters, alpha and beta. Here it is on the beta parameter. So Emil Julius Gumbel, right? So that's the range. That's the far-reaching help which a dictionary can do to you. I understand that I've not been able to hold the things very well because I've kept the thing on my lap because I'm sitting on my bed today, not in my table. So this is very interesting that how much a dictionary can tell you about things. For example, if you look at Vebling Dictionary of John Borwein, you will find many terms about optimization, specialized about convex analysis, for example, Clark generalized gradient. But you will not find anything about the Clark generalized gradient in this dictionary because this is a very specialized tool in optimization. So that is the difference. So when somebody who writes the dictionary has a expertise in a particular area, so that gets reflected in that dictionary. I hope you enjoyed that. And in the next coming thing, we will start our long review, which I had promised, of a book called Linear Algebra Done Right by Sheldon Axler. We'll go over chapter by chapter, maybe 3 chapters per discussion. And so we'll talk in a detail about the book. So when you read the book, you can actually use my video to see and check the key ideas that you really need to focus on. So with this, let me say a thank you for listening to me, listening to this old man, and listening to my strange fascination for dictionaries. So I have another one, but I'll tell you later on what it is. Obviously, a scientific dictionary. I do not have I am not so interested to read about English dictionaries, words and all, because it's mathematics. That is why this attracts me, because there's a lot of information you don't know. It's like just going down and collecting some interesting information. So it's like a museum more than a dictionary, I would say, to me. So you are going through and looking forth at various things. So with this, let me say goodbye. And again, I would say that, friends, all of us would need statistics nowadays. So I strongly recommend this. I usually don't strongly recommend this, but I also hope that all libraries, all rather college libraries, even school libraries, college libraries and university libraries must have copies of these books, of these dictionaries. So with this, I rather end this small discussion with you. It is not very small, already 19 minutes have passed. I don't even realize actually. I think too much of talking. So, in fact, I'm very sorry for that. So, I hope you'd enjoy. Some of you would pick up these books. These are not very costly. And if you are a teacher who teaches statistics on some good mathematical subject, you must have these dictionaries. try to have a flip over the pages, and maybe you get hooked to something, and maybe you do research in them. Just you just do not know what can happen. So try it out once. Just I have tried these dictionaries on the advice of my late friend Jonathan M. Baldwin. So with this, let me call it in call off, end the program, and thank you very much for listening. Goodbye. All the best. Have a good weekend.